Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. The ICAI Campus Placement Program is a great opportunity for newly qualified chartered accountants to get a job. In this video, I'll be talking about how exactly the procedure is and what kind of opportunities are available. This would be really helpful for CA aspirants to actually look at the opportunities that await them. Also, I'll be talking about the good and the bad aspects of the entire procedure and what exactly uh, happened during the campus placement and how was my experience. So at the initial stage of the procedure, we have to fill a big form where we have to fill in our entire background, right from our schooling to the marks that we scored in the CA exams, our hobbies, the scholarships that we have received, the extracurricular activities. We have to upload our resume, and also we have to fill in the number of attempts that we had in the CPT, CA Inter, and the CA final stage. So a lot of details are required. And after the entire thing is done, the companies are given the data that is compiled by ICAI of all the candidates that are participating in the program. Based on various criteria, the companies may have criteria, different types of criteria that we may not be aware about. Like some companies want to just have rankers. Some companies have a restriction on the number of attempts that they want. Some companies want students who have extracurricular activities apart from education. So, based on the data that they receive, they'll shortlist a particular number of candidates. Say, for example, a company is coming up with 10 vacancies to the campus. Then the maximum number of shortlistings that they are allowed to make are 100, 10 into 10. Same way, if someone is bringing 20 vacancies, then they are allowed 200 shortlistings. Once the companies shortlist you, ICI gives you a 2-day window to actually check what the companies are offering, the different profiles that they have, which companies do you want to select. And as per the ICI rules, a candidate is allowed to select a maximum of 4 companies. So there are actually 2 lists that come out. In the first list, let's say you select 3 companies, then you still have 1 slot pending. So in the second list, if you didn't like any other company in the first list, then you can wait for the second list, and if some better opportunity comes, you can use the 4th option over there. And if you use all 4 of your options in the first list, then you are not allowed to choose any companies in the second one. So based on the form that I filled and the resume that I uploaded, I was shortlisted by 23 companies across the 2 lists. And I've put the list of these companies on the screen. So I'll be discussing in short what exactly were the reasons why I decided to give consent to a company and decided not to. So I'll first start with the companies that I didn't give consent to. So wherever I've written better opportunities, it was mostly about the pay. It's not like I don't think this is a good enough package, but considering the other opportunities that I had, I felt like I should avoid these ones. Now, the profiles that I was looking for, my priority has always been equity research and credit research. But ICI campus, I think, didn't have any good equity research opportunities except for ICICI Prudential AMC. But over there, investment research was limited to the rankers. So most of the companies, like let's say Reliance or Adani, these companies offered financial planning and analysis profiles, which I was not interested in. So I passed on the opportunity. And if you look at the companies that I have considered, the ones marked in yellow, uh, one common thing about them is that uh, 4 of them are banks. Bank of Baroda, DBS, sorry, 3 of them are banks: Bank of Baroda, DBS, and HDFC Bank. ICICI Prudential AMC was just because of the, I would say, the investment opportunity. Like initially, I had in my mind that I might talk to the HRs whether they are willing to interview me if I request for the investment profile. But eventually I chose not to, because considering the limited amount of opportunities that we get, I felt like it would be a wastage of consent, because most likely they're not going to interview me because I didn't have a rank. So eventually ICICI Prudential was removed from my list. Aditya Birla Capital, Bank of Baroda. Now coming to PwC LLP, it had M&A tax profile. So what my initial thought process was, if I'm not able to get a job in equity or credit, then I'll keep valuation, M&A tax, due diligence, etc. from a big four as my backup. So PwC LLP was offering the mergers and acquisition tax profile. So I kept it as an option to consider. DBS was my first choice in this particular list of short listings, because it not only offered the credit profile, it had a good package, and also it was a foreign bank. It has a presence in many countries. So I always wanted to work for a foreign organization to experience their work culture. So it was my first choice. HDFC and Bank of Baroda, both are reputed names in the Indian market, and both offered the credit manager role. And so I chose to shortlist them as well. And the fourth one, between PwC LLP and Aditya Birla, I decided to go with Aditya Birla because PwC was offering multiple profiles. I think they were offering around 7 to 8 profiles, and M&A was one of them. And I just felt that based on my past experience, I might not be considered for the M&A profile, because my experience has mainly been in audit and taxation. So rather than taking a punt, I decided to go with Aditya Birla Capital, where there were multiple opportunities for credit, wealth management, etc. So eventually the 4 companies that I shortlisted were Aditya Birla Capital, Bank of Baroda, DBS, and HDFC Bank. Now, if you look at the interview dates, the ICAI Campus Placement works in a manner where the companies that are offering the highest packages get to take the interviews first. So I think 22nd August was the day premiere, as they call it, where the companies with the highest packages were given an opportunity to interview the candidates. As the days passed, the package would reduce compared to the day one. So my 24th August companies were 24th August, which was the day one after the day premiere, Aditya Birla Capital and Bank of Baroda. And the 26th August company was HDFC Bank. Now you might be wondering why HDFC is after Aditya Birla despite having a higher CTC. HDFC had a very high component of variable pay. The fixed pay was, I think, 8 lakh rupees. So these were the companies. And uh, in my mind, I always had that I want to get into DBS. So most of my preparation was directed towards Development Bank of Singapore. And I not only went through the history of the company, but I also prepared for the HR rounds, considering that I'm going to give an interview in a foreign bank. Now, coming to how my experience was. So I think that there are some issues with the portal that organizes the whole thing, the CMIB ICI portal. So what happened was, whenever a company, let's say DBS, it had 9 profiles. So I had to rank them first, second, third, fourth in my order of preference. And these preferences are given to the HRs of the company. And they will decide whether my preferences are suitable to my experience, my aptitude. And after a while, they'll call me and they'll tell me that these are the profiles that we can offer you based on your experience. And eventually, the interview is taken accordingly. Now, what happened was, in my case, the preferences that I gave never actually reached the companies. It didn't reach DBS at all. So I heard a lot of my friends were getting calls from DBS, and they were discussing the profiles that they are going to get. And it was Thursday, I think. On Thursday afternoon, I was actually waiting for the call. And at night, I came to know that the roster has been released and my name was not included in the roster. So I immediately tried to contact the HR who was responsible for conducting the interviews. So after I think half a day, I got a call back from one of their team members, and he was quite cooperative. The HRs of DBS were quite cooperative, and they told me that they have come to know about the issue that has happened. They were not able to receive the preferences of a lot of students, not just me. It was, I think, half of the students who were not able to give their preferences properly. So at Friday night, the HR asked me whether I'm interested in financial reporting profile. So I requested him that could you please consider me for the credit role? And eventually, the next day, they confirmed that they'll be letting me sit for the credit analyst interview. I was lucky enough to get this opportunity. So the interview went really well, and we had 2 rounds of interview. The first one was of 25 minutes, and the second one lasted for an hour. And within I think, at the campus placement, within 3 or 4 hours after the interview, you are told whether they are going to move ahead with your application and going to hire you or not. So, and the thing is, once they inform you, you have to say yes or no within, I think, half an hour or 1 hour. I was given 45 minutes to give my acceptance. And once you accept a particular company, you're not allowed to sit for the remaining interviews. And you are your consent that was given to the other companies, in my case ABC, Bank of Baroda, and HDFC, would get withdrawn. So I immediately accepted the offer as soon as as soon as I came to know that I am being selected for this particular role. And that's how the process goes, so that one particular student doesn't end up holding all the opportunities, and the companies to get a clarity whether this particular candidate is actually interested or not. Now, so if you look at the list of opportunities that I got, I feel very satisfied. Uh, Although a lot of opportunities were not relevant for me, but there was a very good coverage. There were insurance companies, there were NBFCs, banks, conglomerates. Uh, there was there were CA firms like EY, SR Bartley Boy, KPMG, BSR. So there was I would say, very good coverage of companies. But what I felt could have been done better with the process was a lot of students were actually not able to give interviews for the companies where they gave their consent because of the issues with the portal. So I feel that somewhere it was a little unfair for them. Even I would have felt hard done if I was not able to sit for the DBS interview. So something needs to be done about this. And it's also, I would say, a warning for students who are participating and depending on the campus placement program, that no matter how much we say, despite having a lot of capabilities, you need to know that there is a luck element involved. I would say that once you clear your exam, you should actively start networking with people. You should start applying on job portals. There are a lot of opportunities available on the job portals as well. So you need to start finding jobs on, I would say, off campus, because some things, some variables are not in our control, and it's better that we stay safe and we look for opportunities beyond the campus, because it might happen that you don't get the profile, or some portal problem might occur and you miss the opportunity. So uh, I would say that's it. That sums up my experience of the ICI campus, and I would say that really got I would say I got a dream opportunity at Development Bank of Singapore, and I'm really looking forward to work for this company. And I hope that everyone else too is able to get great jobs from the campus. I'll be making another video where I'll be sharing what kind of questions are asked by a banking company for the credit profile, so that it could be helpful for people who are interested in credit research. I'll also be sharing my CV that got me shortlisted in so many companies. So you all can have a look at the format, how exactly it was placed. It was done by my sister Janvi Jasani. She's very good at designing and stuff. So she was the one who helped me with the formatting thing. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for joining, and all the best for your future. If you have any queries or you want to discuss anything with me, then you can mention it in the comment section. I would be glad to answer. And if you want to discuss anything with me or you want to connect with me on social media, I've put the links in the description box. Thank you.